Bro, what do you like? Obviously, you look at the game at a very broad perspective. What do you like about the NRL at the moment? And two-part question: what do you think can change?
That's a good question, bro. I like the way the game's becoming not so structured. It's structured, but we're getting back to that freestyle of football. Like, don't get me wrong, you have your every team has a foundation of how they want to play. We want to get to this point, want to isolate this defender, but at the same time, we've got blokes just taking wide threes, wide twos, 2-on-2s down short sides. Where there's a lot more ad-lib football in it. So it's bringing back the smaller guy too. But our bigger guys are getting a lot fitter and churning out a lot more minutes, getting way more stats. And I love like the exposure the game's getting at the moment too. I mean, players are taking their sort of their own profile and doing more things with it. I know you're big on that and you're one of the leaders in that space, but I think you can see blokes like, I think Reece Walsh has got 400k followers. I think Kalen's close to that. Nathan would be close to that. Jerome, Bizzo, all them boys are close to that, and like they've started their own clothing company, I think. Jerome and that.
Yeah.
So I think like the exposure the game's giving individuals, and we've got heroes and villains. That's sort of coming back. I like that a lot of people are comfortable with not being exactly loved by every other fan base. I think we need to have that kind of like, when someone comes to Newcastle, we want the crowd to not exactly love the team, but it's always cool watching a player run out getting booed and they deliver a performance. Maybe not against Newcastle, but a player that every other team loves to hate. And I think we're getting that back too, which is it brings a storyline back into the game. We're not like the NFL where someone's going to call out like a DB is not going to call out an offensive player and be like, I'm going to go at him and I'm going to sack the quarterback 10 times, I'm going to come for his neck. We're not going to ever be like that. But
do you reckon we could? It's just not the Australian way.
Well, it's not going to be me anyway, that's for sure. I won't be starting that. I don't need any battles, especially one-on-one battles. But I reckon there was something with the Origin a couple of years ago. Wasn't it the centres were going at it?
I think centres, besides probably centres and props are probably the only
That's
two.
the only one, yeah.
Yeah, like
No.
I'd love to see props come out and
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah,
I'd love to see it too because I don't have to worry about it. I just jog past them and good tackle.
just push up, like.
But yeah, bro, like I love the way the game's becoming a bit more free flowing and not block play for block play. I know, like with the obstruction rule, it's hard to run a good genuine block now with all the different variables and that. And then I love the exposure the game's getting and players taking accountability for their own profile and using that to not just gain money or like fame or anything like that. They're actually using it to their advantage for business ventures and stuff like that outside of footy, which is cool.
Yeah, and the cool part is like, the weird part is like, it's probably I said this in the Penrith chat, I never made it online, but like Nathan Cleary's Instagram profile is bigger than Penrith's, and I know Latrell's similar. Reece's got more followers in New South Wales.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's probably the first time in rugby league history where personal brands are starting to become a lot more bigger.
Yeah.
Who do you support? And you said LeBron, and I always thought LeBron was the like start of that when he went to Miami and fans follow him and they go to Miami. He goes back to Cleveland and Lakers. I think that's the way sports is going to be right now, where they follow individuals more so than teams. Yeah,
100%. Because we haven't got that like side like we spoke about at the start with England, where you're born and raised and
this is where my dad my dad stood here, so we stand here.
Yeah, like I grew up on the south coast in Wollongong, and there was more like Knights, Roosters, Tigers, Raiders supporters than there was Dragon supporters, which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
like, that's crazy. Like a one town club should have more supporters. Where obviously it might have changed now. I haven't been there for a long period of time, and then I would go to Newcastle and everyone loved Newcastle. Yeah, they walk around with Newcastle jerseys on, Newcastle hats. You get people stopping you at a cafe. Can I buy you a coffee? No, it's all right. I can get it. I appreciate it.
I'll get you one.
Hey, sure. But yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. What don't you like about the NRL?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, bro. Like I'm a purist, man. Like I love the game, mate. Like I'm a student of it. I love everything about it. Like there was no plan B for me. So like there's not really anything in the game that I'd look at you and go, oh, I hate this. Like I have this joke with our D coach, Rory Kosh Jason. Like I'm not a massive fan of wrestling. I'll be the first to put my hand up. He'll go, who doesn't want to do this? Oh, I'd love not to do this, mate. But I also know the feeling I get after having a successful session. So I'm like one of them weird blokes that'll be honest. Mate, I'd prefer not to do this, obviously. But I get it done. I'm like, fuck, I'm glad I did that. So there's nothing really in the game. Maybe the media scrutiny, like how hard they go for some individuals. I hate that. A lot of those guys I played with coming through as a kid, and I've seen them grow, and I know what they're like as people. I know what they're like as family men, what they do for their community. And then all of a sudden, because they're themselves or they play the game a certain way to how a journalist wants them to, they get the free shot at them. I don't like that.
Yeah, there was always one guy a year, like
all the time.
Latrell Jerome's probably the guy at the moment that gets the clicks. Corey's been that guy. He was the guy for a bit. So
yeah, but you look at him away from football, and you get to know the person, the dad, the brother, the whatever, and they're some of the best people you ever meet, and they're role models for their community. But yet we want to constantly target them and write stories about them year on year to try and get more clicks because of their personal brand is bigger than the media outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like some people take it too far, man. There's some journos that take it too far with individuals. It almost makes it personal, which I don't like. They've got the right to write a story, no doubt. And I've got a good relationship with a lot of journalists. Funny enough, they've hammered me for years, but I've built a relationship with a lot of them because you do need them at certain points for sure. But
it is part of the game now, isn't it?
Like when I was coming through, there was people that were like, nah, don't talk to him, we hate him. But at the same time, bro, you're going to need him eventually. and they're not all bad people.
It's like that, yeah.
They're not all bad people, mate. They've got to do a job, but I just think sometimes the story's just so far-fetched to get a click. I don't like that.